Good morning, guys. Tony Maritato here, licensed physical therapist. And one of the common questions we get in the group on Facebook is, what are some exercises I should be doing in the gym to help improve my performance on the pickleball court? So I'm gonna go through five of my favorites that really affect everybody in a positive way, whether you're playing pickleball or just looking for general health and conditioning. Some of my preferred methods of strength training are either free weights, which we'll cover in another video, or a basic cable machine. Cable machines are great because it allows me to utilize the resistance in a position that's comfortable for my body. You know, a 6'2", 180-pound adult male is gonna be different than a 4'8", 90-pound adult female. So let's take a look at this. I always say, we're strength training, we're exercising to improve performance. That is going to be a different kind of exercise than somebody who's exercising to increase muscle mass, to produce hypertrophy. That's different than somebody who's exercising to increase, absolute strength. So we need to understand that while there are metrics I was a strength coach before I became a physical therapist. I understand muscle physiology and the mechanics of dosing appropriate exercise. For most normal human beings like us, we're just looking to get fit. We're looking to feel better. We're looking to move better on the pickleball court and in life. So I usually tell my clients, don't obsess about the weight. Find a weight that's comfortable. Find a weight that you can do 8 to 12 repetitions with. If 8 to 12 reps is too easy and you could have done 20, make the weight a little bit heavier for the next set. If 8 to 12 is too heavy that day, just lighten it. It doesn't matter what the weight is. It's actually doing the exercise that means something to us. So first one is a basic high pull. Now we can do all of these exercises, single hand or double hand, straight on or cross body. But to keep it simple, a basic high pull, I come in here, I back up from the machine so that when my arms are fully extended, when my shoulders are elevated and forward, I have room to initiate the movement from the shoulder blades. So this is called setting the shoulder blade. And then as I pull back, I'm bringing my thumbs to the front of my shoulder. If you can't reach thumbs to shoulder, you've got some mobility issues and we can address that in a different video. But effectively, all I'm doing is full range of motion, shoulders elevated, anterior. I'm pulling them back and depressing them as I pull thumb to shoulder. Like I said, I could do a bilateral pull. Because I'm standing and because the weight is pulling me up and forward, what's also happening is it's forcing me to find my center of gravity, to adjust my center of gravity, to use my toes, to use my ankles, my hips, my knees. The entire kinetic chain is involved in an exercise like this. Now, can I lift maximum load in this position, pulling me up and off balance? Absolutely not, but that's not why we're here. We're not here to get a new PR. We're here to strengthen and improve the way we move. So again, I would do anywhere between 8 to 12 reps. I'd set a weight appropriately. I would do double arm pulls, then I would let go, and I would do a single arm pull. This is one of the exercises we use quite a bit with somebody who's had a rotator cuff repair, with somebody who's had non-surgical shoulder pain. They're trying to rehab it. Maybe it's a biceps tendinopathy. Maybe it's something like an impingement syndrome. And we just want to get the shoulder moving. This cross-body single arm pull, working through the shoulder blade, through the scapulothoracic region and the arm, best way to do it. Almost impossible to do something wrong, but it's a great way to get the shoulder moving. So that's exercise number one. Exercise number two, usually we're gonna lighten the weight because we're gonna use a longer lever. Same thing, double hand grip, still standing, but this time what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna brace the trunk and I'm gonna pull straight arm down to the front of my pockets. And when I say brace the trunk, what I mean is I want to tighten through the midsection. You could call it the core. I want to tighten through that as I bring the hand down to the front of my thigh. My lats are working, my triceps working, my abdominals, kind of everything in front of me. If you imagine me laying on my stomach, it's kind of like a plank without movement. So it's an isometric core or trunk exercise that's got everything working. I would do double hand. I would do again crossbody single hand or straight on single hand. And the whole idea here is I'm training not just the resistance, but I'm training the coordination of all of the muscles working together. This motion where I grab and I pull down, I'm tightening everything through the core without movement. It's one of the best ways to just improve. Think of it like a tug of war team. If everybody on the tug of war team pulls at the same time, you're gonna beat a bigger, stronger team that doesn't pull at the same time. We're just coordinating the motion and the activity of all of the muscles working together. So those are my first two. We've got a high row, we've got a straight arm pull down. Then I'll usually adjust the waist down. Now, in a regular gym, you might not have a machine like this, but you most likely have some version of a cable crossover. You could do the same thing. You can have 2 high pulleys, 2 medium pulleys, 2 low pulleys. What we're gonna do here, we're gonna do this a couple different ways. I'm gonna grab the 2 handles in an open position, elbows relatively straight. I'm gonna do a crisscross, either wrist over wrist, elbow over elbow. If my left was on top for the first set, my right's gonna be on top for the second set. I'm going from a comfortable kind of scaption position. Scaption is kind of right in the middle. I'm pulling across and relaxing. I'm pausing in the middle. Now you've probably seen people do it with their back toward the machine, way out in front, pushing down. Again, if I want to lift a maximum load, I'm going to go into that position. My focus is performance, not maximum load. So I would rather use a lighter weight with longer levers in order to achieve the goal. So I would do a set of 8 to 12, alternating which grip is on top. Then I would reverse. So now I'm starting in a crisscross position where I was finishing before. That's where I begin. And now I'm pulling apart. Now, because of the nature of the cables, I would have to keep one hand on top. But if I'm gonna do 8 reps, I'll do 4 with the right on top, then I'll switch, and I'll do 4 with the left on top. And my goal is full scapular protraction to full scapular retraction. I'm trying not to get a lot of compensation. I can stay in that nice athletic position, kind of weight on the balls of the feet, knees are a little flexed, hips are a little flexed, stomach is tight. I'm pulling apart and then letting it crisscross back together. You can imagine how this might be a backhand stroke, whereas the first one is a forehand stroke. A variation on this is I go one cable in each hand and I go into a rotational push-pull pattern. I would do a set facing one direction without letting go of the handles. I would do a set facing the other direction. So I'm getting that reciprocal through the trunk, my feet, my knees, my hips, everything is working together to generate that rotational force. Again, you can understand how that's going to translate onto the pickleball court. And then the last in the series is going to be a low either lunge or squat row. So I'll come down, I'll grab the handles, I'll back up a little bit so I have plenty of room. There's going to be an imaginary chair behind me. And all I want to do is I start with my thumbs at my lower rib cage. As I sit, I reach forward. As I stand, I pull back. Now, I'm a big advocate of full depth squats. So I'll come all the way down, sitting on my heels, come all the way up, thumbs to my lower rib cage. What I am ideally doing is the line of the cable travels through the line of the forearm. So I'm not in this position, which now this turns more into a rotator cuff exercise, but I'm in this position where the pull is coming from the shoulder blade, the posterior delt, all the way through the back of the arm. Once I break that line of pull, now either I turn it into internal rotation or external rotation. I just want a straight arm pull. That's all I'm looking for. So we could do a set of 8 to 12 squat rows. We can do crossbody to get a little rotation. We can turn it into a lunge, either same side leg or opposite side leg. There's a huge variety of what you can do with a simple cable unit that's going to impact what we do on the pickleball court. Now everything here has pretty much been posterior chain. In another video, I'll go ahead and work on anterior chain so that we can balance the program. But the big principle here is understanding the difference between conventional strength training, conventional power training, and just general conditioning. I'm a big believer in general conditioning. General conditioning can be done every day. You don't need to take rest breaks. When you're finished, you should feel good. You shouldn't feel significant muscle soreness. Tonight or tomorrow morning, you should be ready to go again. It's energizing because I believe the more activity we can get in a 24-hour period, the better. If I come into the gym and I completely wipe myself out, but then I go lay on a couch for 8 hours, that kind of defeats the purpose.